93% of people who try to master workflow automation fail within 30 days. Here's how to be in the 7% who succeed. I'm about to share the 3 things that took me from almost giving up on automation to building over 200 workflows and helping thousands of students master N8N. By the way, I'm Kevin. I've built automation systems that run 24/7 without breaking. I've landed huge consulting contracts, and I think about N8N workflows all the time. Stick around to the end because I'm also sharing access to all workflow blueprints from this channel at the end. Let's dive right in. So tip number 1 is about the mentor dance, and this is the first game-changing tip that I think not many people speak about when it comes to automations, and this is finding the right N8N mentor. So here's the context. You're watching tutorials, you're building workflows, and you're feeling pretty good. But then your webhook fails at 2 a.m. Therefore, you scramble to fix it. But then the client notices the downtime, and therefore your reputation takes a hit. This dance between progress and problems is why most people quit. But here's what changes everything. Learning from someone who's already debugged 1,000 broken workflows and learning from their mistakes. Look, if you can't take 2 days off without your workflows breaking, you don't own an automation business. Your automation business owns you. And the problem is that most N8N experts build tutorials, not production systems. It's like learning surgery from someone who has only watched operations on YouTube. What you need is someone with battle scars, someone who has dealt with rate limits, with API changes, and with angry clients. For example, let's say you're building a lead nurturing workflow. You could spend 8 months figuring it out yourself, but with the right mentor, you can get there in 2 weeks using their proven patterns. And this is what I want for you. The second tip is about having skin in the game. This essentially means that watching YouTube videos doesn't work. And here's what I mean. Results don't come from consuming N8N tutorials or downloading workflows or bookmarking documentation. Results come from one thing and one thing only: your commitment to implementing what you learn, especially when it gets hard, especially when webhooks fail, especially when you want to quit. So if you are still struggling to build workflows that actually work in production, there is good news. Your failing workflows aren't the problem. The real problem is commitment. When I started learning N8N, I was about to give up many times. But I had no choice. I wanted it to become my superpower. And that forced me to push through every single obstacle instead of giving up when things got complicated. And the thing is that people hate this truth because it puts accountability on them, on you, and not the course or the template. But the magic happens when you actually take accountability and you realize that you are responsible for implementing what you actually learn. All right, tip number 3, and this one is tough to swallow. You know how good it feels to talk about the automation system you're going to build, right? That CRM integration that will change everything, that workflow that will save you 20 hours a week. However, here's the thing. Studies show that we get the same dopamine hit from talking about our plans as we do or as we get when executing them. Think about that. Your brain literally rewards you for doing nothing. But then reality hits. You open N8N, you see the nodes, you realize that you need to understand webhooks, HTTP requests, JSON parsing. And suddenly that glamorous vision becomes, this is actually really hard. Therefore, most people just quit right there. They think they are the problem. But, and this is important, this is just the admission fee for automation mastery. We are powerful automation builders, but from the tutorial system we grew up in, we take in so much negative programming that we actually suppress our inherent workflow building abilities. So what is the solution? It's actually putting things into action, doing the hard work. So if you're just learning at the stage, that's all well and good. But at some stage, you will need to put stuff into action. Let's now speak about building to the end or working backwards. If you're learning N8N right now, and it feels messy, it feels non-linear, it feels frustrating, like you're constantly Googling error messages. Congratulations, you're doing it right. This is the part that influencers never show, the 50 failed attempts before the elegant solutions, the hours reading documentation, the webhook that never worked perfectly in testing, or rather, that worked perfectly in testing but fails in production. Again, the solution is that while everyone is focusing on outcome goals like build a CRM automation or whatever that might be, your job is to build backwards, to build to the end, to understand that the end goal is to put in the reps, the effort. And in N8N, this could look like practicing HTTP requests daily and trying different APIs, debugging one complex workflow weekly, reading API documentation for 30 minutes every day so you start to notice patterns. And this should be like a daily checklist that you go through. It's not sexy, it won't get likes on LinkedIn, but it's how you actually master N8N. So these three principles have transformed my N8N journey from struggling with basic automations, with basic workflows, to running a successful automation consultancy. And dealing with thousands of students in different communities, all interested in learning N8N, make.com, this is the path that the successful ones have walked. And what I want for you is to follow in the footsteps of these successful people, to build incredible N8N automations that work when it comes to production, and to follow the relatively easier path, the one where you don't have to waste years of your life in order to get there. I hope that you found this video useful, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos and you get access to this knowledge so you don't have to fail over and over again before you find the right path. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below, and I'll speak to you soon.